Welcome to Paratalk with the East Tennessee Ghost Seekers. Hair-raising, spine-tingling evidence covering the full supernatural spectrum. UFOs, cryptozoology, paranormal encounters. Have an experience to share? Call now. 865-264-0448. That's 865-264-0448. And now, here are your hosts, the East Tennessee Ghost Seekers, Stephen Brown, Steve Wiseman, Andrea Brown. Welcome to Paratalk.
All right, guys, welcome to Paratalk, episode 10. And it's kind of a special episode because this episode, that's right, the boys are back in town.
Once again,
this week it's just me and Steve. Andrea has stuff that she's tending to. Mama duties. Oh, bless her heart. But
somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, and she fits the bill. She's the mama.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I know. I'm not sure if she's aware of that.
She'll find out sooner or later.
She'll find out sooner or later, yeah. Yeah, so how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Just thinking everybody down in Florida.
I know, man. Sucks.
Big time.
Sucks.
I got family down there, just hope everything's going well for them.
Yeah, and our thoughts and prayers are out with everyone that's going to be affected by Hurricane Irma.
Absolutely, that bitch.
That greedy bitch. Yeah, she's sneaking up on everybody. I'm not really sneaking.
Not really
up.
sneaking.
No,
everybody knows she's coming.
And, you've got people that, like your sister that could not get out because of, circumstances that didn't allow that to happen.
Absolutely.
And another one of our brothers in the paranormal field, Steve DeShavi, he's stuck in his house.
Riding it out in Cape Coral.
Cape Coral, Florida, yeah. I mean, he said that, there was not enough gas down there for him to be able to leave.
And even if there was enough gas, the gridlock on I-75 and 95 North was ridiculous. They even opened the southbound lanes northbound so people can get out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That shit never happens.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nuts.
Yeah, so again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone being affected by Hurricane Irma, wherever you are at, and just know we are thinking about you. So, kind of a special episode this time. We're doing our first interview.
Absolutely.
With someone that's not a member of ETGS. Yeah.
Or a family member.
Yeah. So, this week we're going to be innovating. That's not even a word. Nice. Yeah. So this week we're going to be interviewing the owner of the Eureka Inn in
Eureka.
Yeah. In Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Can't wait.
She's got tons of information on the place. The way we come to find out about this, our investigators in training, Matt and Melissa, went there last weekend to perform a little paranormal investigation with some other people they know. And it kind of got batshit crazy for a while. I mean, I'm going to save that for the actual interview with Caitlin. But they actually had some people have to show up because of some of the things that happened the first night of the investigation.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So we've got that going on. Just letting you guys know, in October we're going to be at Screamville 2 nights on October 14th and 21st. So anybody listening, if you want to come hang out with us, you're more than welcome. Screamville's owned by Doug Cox. Doug's a good guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Real good guy. We're going to have Doug on here, and hopefully I'd like to get him on here this coming week and talk about Screamville. And
because it's getting here close.
Oh, it's getting real close. Yeah. That haunting time of year, it's upon us.
It is.
Our favorite time of year. Oh, my gosh.
Kill.
I know. It's great. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like Halloween here at our house, so
every
day. Yeah, I mean, like you can come into our house and there is skulls, and we forgot the Jack Skellington, and like on
Batman.
Yeah, and we even added a new addition this year. You saw it? Did you see it yesterday? The wreath. our wreath?
Did not.
You
No, I
haven't
didn't see it.
Oh, you're going to have to see the wreath on the front door. See, everybody comes in the back door.
I thought you were talking about your little burrito.
No, my burrito. No, that's not new. No. And Steve's referring to my dog, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. But yeah, we got a new wreath. Picked it up at a local big box store that I do not care to mention the name of. And it's a black wreath that has skulls in it and bats in it.
Black wreaths matter.
Black wreaths matter. They do. Yeah, especially this time of year. And honestly, dude, I would have it up on the door every day if Andrea would let me. But I don't know.
What's to stop you?
Do you think she could?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I could try to sweet talk her into it though. I mean, because it's a pretty badass read.
You can sweet talk pretty good.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I've had my way with words sometimes. Sometimes, not
Sometimes.
so much. But yeah, so Andrea's not with us today. She's out doing mama duties. Yesterday was Xander's birthday party, so we had like 5 football players here that he plays football with, and they drove us batshit crazy. Right?
100.
And 10%. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So today she's going to take them. Well, she had to take them to football practice on a
Nice.
Sunday.
Woohoo.
Yeah. And then now she gets to take Xander's shopping.
Nice.
Better her than me.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I said before, man, it's a tough job, but somebody's got
I
to
know.
do it.
And she's the perfect woman for the job.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, she loves to shop.
What woman doesn't?
Right. And you know, she has more patience with Xander than anyone else I know.
What woman doesn't?
Yeah. But so anyway, we're going to get Caitlin on the line, and we're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we will have Caitlin from the Eureka Inn joining us with all kinds of cool info. So
Can't wait.
yeah, so we'll be right back, guys. Hey, it's Steven from Paratalk. Do you have a story to share? Call us at 865-264-0448 to explain your paranormal experience, or to share your favorite ghost story, or to even give us a topic you would like us to discuss. We understand if you want to keep anonymous, so the choice is yours to share your name with your story. So call 865-264-0448 now and have your experiences heard on the next episode of Paratalk.
You're listening to Paratalk with East Tennessee Ghost Seekers, a new perspective in paranormal talk radio.
All right, we're back on Paratalk. I'm Steven.
I'm Steve.
All right, and we have now on the line Caitlin Yarborough with the Eureka Inn in Jonesboro. Welcome, Caitlin.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And not a problem. Thank you for agreeing to talk with us. So the Eureka Inn, it's an old place, isn't it?
Yes, the Eureka is quite old. It's one of the very few original wooden structures left in Jonesboro due to lots of fires in the early 1800s, late 1800s. And the original structure was built in 1797, and then it was just added on to several times. But it's still standing, fireproof. So,
yeah, and I read on your webpage that it has the original hardwood floors still in parts of the building, correct?
it does. We still have the original floors from the late 1700s in
Wow.
2 rooms, and actually the original stone wall foundation and log joists, where they literally just fell the trees, strip them of the bark, and laid them for the the foundation, it's still supporting the original structure. So
That is
the
awesome.
basement, I wish we could offer tours of the basement, but it's hard to get to.
Right, right. So, what is some of the history with the place? Like, do you have anyone famous on the registry that had stayed there back in the day when it was widely popular?
Yeah, I wish we did. We recently found out that someone that lived just down the street was a descendant of the Millers, which is Peter Miller and his wife Angelina, and they were the first people to turn the building into the Eureka Hotel in 1901. And we looked through, they found their original hotel guest logs, and we combed through, and didn't find anyone. Even though right across the street, the Chester Inn, they had 3 different presidents stay there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So I guess we were the second rate back in the day.
well, still, I mean, and Jonesboro's an old town.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It was originally the state of Franklin, which was a territory of North Carolina. And then they kind of had a small battle, and then we became part of Tennessee.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now on to the juicy stuff, the stuff that people
Yeah.
listen to this podcast for.
Absolutely.
The paranormal activity that goes on inside of the Eureka Inn.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, first, Eureka Inn has been in your possession how long?
So technically it's not in our possession yet. We will own the business in December.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been the innkeepers for 2 years and 8 months.
Okay, cool. So, in 2 years and 8 months, your personal experiences, what have you experienced?
Well, so my husband worked there for a short amount of time before we became the innkeepers. So he was familiar with the building, or rather the building was familiar with him.
Right.
But when we first took over, when we would split up to clean rooms or do whatever work on different things in the inn, he would be, in a completely different wing, far enough away to where, he would have to yell at the top of his lungs to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hear someone across the hall in the opposite end upstairs, and it sounded just like Blake, and I would think that he was calling my name, plain as day, and I'd walk across the hall and he wouldn't be there. Then I'd go hunt him down and find him, and he's, far away, and it would just play tricks on us like that. And then Blake's had his shirt tugged on a couple times in the kitchen, which was originally the squire's room, a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That was added in the like 1910. I had my dog with me one time. We're hypoallergenic and not dog friendly. She's a tiny Boston Terrier. So I had her in my arms, and we didn't have guests, and the hotel was closed. Lights were off. No televisions were on, no radios were on. The computer wasn't even turned on. And I was just running in to grab a bill, and I came in the back door and was going to exit the front door, and I heard kind of a staticky, almost electronic voice say pets.
Wow.
Like my dog, my pet. And Violet heard it too, and we've tried to bring her down because she's 11, so sometimes she's just not well.
Right.
So we try to bring her down and put her in the dog bed behind the front desk, and she won't have it. She has to get out of the building.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
It's just really
Yeah,
silly things like that.
Animals are very sensitive to the paranormal.
Very.
Like
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard of the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. It's
Yes.
Okay, well, we investigated there a few months back, and the girls that run that, they had brought in this dog that they found stray just wandering around the property there. It was looked to be like, what, Steve, a German Shepherd? Like
It's some type of mix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so they were like, if you guys want to take the dog with you, through part of the investigation, you're more than welcome. So we went up to this auditorium area where they used to show the prisoners movies, and they would do plays and all this jazz for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we got video of the dog like chasing his tail for no apparent, not like biting at his tail like dogs would if they felt a flea or what have you. And he's like walking around in circles, and then he goes to walk across the floor in front of us and yelps and doesn't move.
Oh.
And yeah, so I mean, they sense that. I mean, and there was no reason for the yelp. He didn't jump when he did the yelp, anything like that, but something was affecting the dog while we were in there. So yeah, dogs and animals in general are very, very sensitive to the paranormal.
Ooh, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so last weekend you had a couple of our investigators in training, Matt and Melissa, join you down there. And from the looks of it, you guys had, a pretty good time.
Yeah.
In our eyes,
Yeah, in your eyes.
Yeah.
In my husband and our experience, at least from the fire alarm standpoint, I'm sure they shared that.
Yeah, they did.
Whole
And
experience.
why don't you tell our listeners what happened with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So just a little background. Being a historic inn, wooden, building's a little over 225 years old. We are extremely up to code with fire safety, all of the security lines tied into the phone lines, things like that. We're very up to date and astute with our credentials, if
Right.
you will. So our fire alarm system, it's gone off when it's supposed to. We had a staff member that's 16, she works very part-time. I had her make a pecan pie. She didn't put a pan underneath it. It bubbled over or set off the fire alarm. I was ironing with a big steam station. The steam was too much. I was directly under one of those little sensors. It went off and they responded. Things like that. And then last Saturday night, or rather early Sunday morning, we had a normal evening. We had an event in our courtyard that went well. We had about a half full inn, including your friends. And I kind of forgot that Blake told me we had ghost hunters there, but it didn't really occur to me until later. So we go home. We have a smart home system. It notifies us of all sorts of, doors opening,
Right.
thermostat changes, alarms. None of that went off, and I just get a phone call at 3:20 in the morning from Fleener Security letting us know that the fire alarm is going off and that they've, sent the fire department with the fire truck. And so we wake up, throw on clothes, get down there, beat them there. All of our guests are outside, including your friends, Melissa and Matt. And there's no explanation for
Right.
why the fire alarm went off. There's no smoke. I made cookies that night and I was like, oh my God, did I not turn off the oven? No, nothing. Everything is normal. So we have to be on fire watch. So we have to stay there. And, nothing else happens. And the next morning at breakfast, our guests, your friends, the ghost hunters, they let us know that they were actually in contact with a spirit in the inn, or a ghost or an entity, and that they were asking, how did you die? And they responded with hot.
Yeah.
Not sure what sort of tool they were using. And then,
Yeah, it was
so that's at like
one of-
3:40.
Yeah, that
in the
was one of
morning.
Matt's apps that he had running on his phone. And it actually, he sent me a screenshot of it. He's like, dude, it said hot, and then the fire alarm went off. I was like, what?
Yeah, it said hot, and then it said fate, and then it said scream. And right at scream, I pulled up my phone to compare because I had them send me the screenshots too. And I pulled my phone out making breakfast, and I was like, so Fleener called me at like 3:28. I'm not sure of the exact time, but it's like maybe a 5-minute difference of when the spirit responded with scream after the hot and the fate, and then the alarm went off. And the fire department told us that dust was the reason that it set off, and we keep the inn extremely clean.
Right.
So, and that's never happened before, but it
I've
was
never heard
definitely
of dust setting off any fire alarm.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And actually, that reminds me. So with the smart home system, where we get notifications of doors opening, closing, things like that. This is something I should have shared earlier. One night, probably like 6 or 7 months ago, I got a notification. We had no guests in the house, which is like free vacation for Blake and myself.
Exactly.
At home.
Yeah.
And so I was in bed very early and dead asleep and got a notification. My phone was just going crazy, and I checked it, and it was like 3:13 in the morning, and it was telling me that every single door in the inn opened all at the same time and then closed.
Wow.
And I didn't go down there because I'm not stupid.
Right.
But that was, I usually just disregard that, but it creeped me out for like a good week and a half.
Yeah, I mean, that
I
makes
forgot all about that.
Yeah, that unnerves you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting. And you can't see us right now, but Steve and I are both like drooling at the opportunity to get in there. I mean, so the next night, Matt and Melissa, they stayed another night with you after experiencing all that, and you guys, you were gracious enough to let them do a Facebook Live of their little investigation there. And I was watching, my wife was watching, and I'm going to be honest with you. You guys were getting more voices out of the spirit box at your location than I have ever heard anywhere.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, that's my first, I love paranormal stuff, and I believe in ghosts, and I used to live in Savannah, Georgia, and we actually used to live in another property on Main Street that was we were haunted for a little bit. But I've never done anything with a spirit box where it's the white noise. And, I thought maybe that it was picking up radio waves, and that's what we were hearing. But it was just all sorts of different tones, and it was crazy.
I mean, and, through the Facebook Live, and I don't know what kind of external speaker Matt was using with that. It wasn't as clear as like the external speaker we use, but you could definitely hear, male tones. You could hear female tones, and you even got the name that you mentioned earlier, the
Angelina.
Yeah, Angelina.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that creeped me officially out. We weren't sure that it was her. People have said that when they stay in Angeline's room, that someone knocks on the door in the middle of the night. They're always asking us if we knocked on their door. And then it gets really cold in that room too, even with the thermostat being turned off. And so, we just always assumed, oh, Angelina or Peter Miller, they're just watching their wing.
Right.
And when I heard Angelina come through the spirit box, and it was pretty clear, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
that was
it was
very
clear because I heard that, and I'm like messaging, or commenting on the Facebook Live video, what I'm hearing, and me and my wife were sitting there, and like eventually I went ahead and I just streamed it to my TV and was listening to the audio through my sound bar, and which helped a lot, and that's when we actually heard her name. And me and my wife look at each other and we're like, holy shit, did you hear that?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, like, we get spirit box activity, when we investigate, but we never, ever have had that much intelligent activity. I mean, because it was responding. They were responding to questions. And it wasn't just, blurting out words. It did every now and then, but it was more times than not, it was after Matt or Melissa would ask a question. I mean, which was very, very, very impressive. And then the coolest thing of all, I thought, that happened that night was Matt and Melissa stopped their Facebook Live. They were done for the night, or so they thought. And they went to their room. And
I was there.
Yes, because you're the one that actually took the mirror off the wall, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
So
make sure there wasn't like some sort of crazy demonic stuff. written on that.
yeah. So Steve, this is what happens. They're in there. Melissa messages Andrea, and she's like, "Tell Steven to get back on Facebook Live. We want him to watch this and see if he can tell us what's going on." So okay, I get back on Facebook Live, and I call their phone, and I'm like telling Matt, things to check, because he was getting K2 readings, 5 lights
Really?
inside of this bathroom. So I have him check, all the electrical outlets. I have him, run around the room with the K2 meter, and
Only when the lights were off, too.
yeah, only when the lights were off was he getting 5
Really?
lights and all this activity on the K2 meter, especially in front of this mirror. So I asked Matt or Melissa, I don't remember which one I was talking to at that point in time. I'm like, how old is that mirror? Is that mirror, a newer mirror that they bought and added because it looks cool, or is that an actually old mirror? And then Caitlin comes back and says it's from like early 1900s. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Do we know where the mirror came from?
No, I don't, but I actually have a log, and I'm not at the inn right now. Sorry.
you're fine.
Our guests, our full house just checked out, so we beelined it out of Jonesboro. A little break. But I will look into it and message you and let you know. We have a log of all of the antiques that are in each room.
Mm-hmm.
And we had nothing to do with like the acquiring of them, but most of them are either reproductions or authentic antiques, and most of the mirrors are originals.
Wow.
So I'll check and see, and I'm pretty sure that it like lists a decade or an era that it's from. So I'll try to find out for you.
Well, that would be
but
awesome.
it's definitely rustic.
Yeah, it's an old mirror. I mean, and anyone who's into the paranormal knows the story behind mirrors.
Right, absolutely.
They can be a portal.
Oh, no.
And they can also trap.
And they can also trap.
Good. Let's leave it in the mirror.
And which is the crazy thing, because, Matt's running the K2 along that wall. And I ask him, I'm like, is there, an outlet or something behind the mirror, that the mirror is just covering up, an older outlet. And so Caitlin goes and she takes the mirror off the wall and walks into the bedroom. Matt scans the wall. He's getting blips, just blips, not those 5 lights that he was getting when the mirror was up there. I asked him, I was like, okay, Matt, turn around, go to the mirror and check the mirror with the K2. He gets within 7 inches of the mirror. 5 lights.
Wow.
Well, I'm holding it.
While she's holding it.
But that made you feel well.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and hang this back up. Now, for the record, I did offer them a different room to sleep in that night, but I think they stayed in theirs.
Yeah, and did you hear what happened to them while they stayed in there that night?
No, I didn't. I was worn out. My husband took care of breakfast that morning after the ghost encounters.
Okay, well, just to give you a little recap on what happened that night, they go to sleep. Of course, Melissa being very new to this, it took her a little bit to go to sleep. She was unnerved. And Matt was asleep. She wakes Matt up going, quit hitting me, because she was like, started smacking him. And she's like, quit hitting me, quit hitting me. And he wasn't even close to her in the bed. He rolls over and he goes, I'm not touching you.
Ew.
Yeah. So Melissa felt somebody, smacking at her, like it was Matt in the bed with her.
Oh,
So,
Lord.
yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and set in my request that I want that room when we come back there.
Sure. It's all yours.
And that leads us to another point. Hopefully sometime here in the very near future, Matt said that you had extended an offer for us to come down and the team come in and do a lockdown of the place and perform an investigation. And
Absolutely.
And we are so stoked.
Absolutely, yeah. Cannot wait.
And like what we're going to do is we'll come in and we're going to run our full DVR system. We're going to have multiple cameras going throughout the entire stay. And if you guys want to come in and hang out with us some, you are more than welcome. And we're going to get to the bottom of seeing who all's hanging out at the Eureka Inn and not on the guest list.
I know, right? Start charging them or start training them. They need to do some dishes.
There you go. There you go. And another cool thing about the Eureka Inn for everyone listening that I thought was just awesome when I was looking at the website and noticed some pictures and some of the pictures that Matt and Melissa had sent us. It's the rooms all have their own names.
Really?
And yeah. I saw signs on the doors of the rooms that had their names, and I think that is such a very, very cool accent on the Eureka Inn. So,
well, it's all based on the history, so.
That is so awesome.
A very long history.
Very long history. Oh, my gosh.
Definitely.
Well, Caitlin,
Hard to keep up with sometimes.
I'm sure. Well, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, and I just want to thank you for taking the time out to come and talk with us. And we're going to get together and get set up a time where we're going to come and hang out, and hopefully we can do some streaming on our Facebook Live on our ETGS page, and people can watch along.
Sure.
And maybe set up some DVR cameras that will go on a live feed that people can watch throughout the night while we're investigating. If they see anything, they can, hit
let
us up.
know, Lord.
Yes, and we can go to those positions. But again, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. And let me just say this just really quickly. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm very glad that Matt and Melissa wanted to stay and do, what they did, where they let myself and my friend Deb come. Because I've tried to look up, the haunted history on the inn myself, because we, are fans of that. But no one's posted anything that's happened to them, and I, didn't want to write just my little sad account. So I'm glad this is happening.
But well, let me give you a little bit of advice. If you post your little sad accounts, people may see that, and that may let them come out to post what happened to them. Because a lot of people won't post that stuff just because
they don't want people to think they're crazy.
Yeah.
But if one
Well, that's
person
me.
does it, then the next and next will come.
And after we come, and we do our investigation, we go through all the evidence, you will get a copy of everything that was captured, and you are free to do with that whatever you wish. If you want to post that onto your page, and, we have, several followers in the paranormal field that follow our page, and, this may stir up a new venture for you of doing paranormal weekends. Who knows,
That's cool. Well, we're already doing murder mystery weekend. So
and I saw that.
As long as that doesn't come true.
Yeah, I saw that on your page as well, and that looks awesome. So we may have to actually come up and join in for one of those one weekend, because that looks just super cool.
That would be amazing.
That looks super
Absolutely.
cool. Well,
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you. And I will be in touch with you, and we will get this all set up, and we'll come hang out with you for a weekend, and you guys can come have fun with us.
Oh, Lord. Sounds great.
All right.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Sounds great.
Thank you,
You're
Caitlin,
welcome.
and I will be in touch with you.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
There it is.
There it is. That was Caitlin Yarrow from the Eureka
Inn.
Yeah. So, Caitlin, we so appreciate you inviting us to come down and hang out with you at the Eureka Inn. We will be there hopefully pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully pretty soon. We're going to get this all worked out and join Caitlin. And like I said, we're going to have some live feeds going so everyone can join in and watch. If you see something in one of the cameras, let us know. I mean, it's as simple as going on Facebook and typing in what you see, because we will have someone at all times monitoring the Facebook feed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I'm excited, bro.
Me too, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah. This is going to be awesome. Place is so freaking old.
Built in 1796.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 97.
97.
1 year after the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's going to be
Let's do
badass. It's going to be badass. All right, guys. This is a shorter podcast, and just wanted to do this interview so everyone can hear it. And we were just stoked about doing the interview.
Oh, yeah. We had to share our next venture with you.
Yes. So we will keep everyone updated on our adventures at the Eureka Inn. And everyone go and check out the Eureka Inn online. Just Google Eureka Inn, Jonesboro, Tennessee, and it will pull up their website. Go in and give it a like. I mean, the rooms themselves they're decorated beautifully. I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, it's like stepping back into that time period. And maybe we'll get to step back into that time period and talk to someone from back then.
That'd be so cool.
How awesome would that be?
Amazing.
I mean, like she was talking, the Angelina lady
Right.
that originally lived there. You know, her voice when it came across at Spirit Box when Matt and Melissa were there, brother, it was so clear.
Wow.
So clear.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. There's several clips because, like, when they would go into a certain room, I forgot to mention this, when they'd go into a certain room, it would totally cut them off. It would knock them off Facebook Live. And just so everyone knows, they weren't using, like, their wireless plan to stream. They were connected straight into Eureka's Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So every room in that hotel or that inn has free Wi-Fi, and it shouldn't go out in certain spots.
Right.
You know, that's that same stream.
Should be constant.
Yeah, it shouldn't cut out in certain rooms, but it cut out in one, maybe two. I'm thinking it was just one room that they would go in, and every time they would try it would freeze up and say broadcast interrupted.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was awesome, and soon enough we're going to get in there to do our thing, and we will bring Matt and Melissa along. We will have my wife Andrea, and we'll have Jesse with us, and we're going to do a full-on investigation for the weekend at the Eureka Inn. And like I said, everyone, while we're streaming, if you see anything, let us know. You know, that lets us know if we should go into another room.
Definitely.
You know, and because we're going to have somebody monitoring the DVR system the entire time that we're investigating. We're going to have somebody monitoring the Facebook feed the entire time that we're investigating. And we want your participation. We want you guys to let us know. So, and if you guys know of any place that you would like to see us go, let us know.
Yeah, just message us.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe we can work something out with Eureka Inn and Caitlin, and maybe allow someone to come with us on another investigation there. You know, no promises, but we'll see what we can work out.
Get this one out of the way first.
Yeah, let's get this one out of the way first and see how this turns out. But by the sounds of it, it's going to turn out pretty freaking fantastic.
Right.
I mean, fire alarms to go off because of dust. Okay, sure. Whatever you say, Captain Fireman. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Steven.
I'm Steve.
And you've been listening to Paratalk.
And that's all, folks.
Hey, it's Steven from Paratalk. Do you have a story to share? Call us at 865-264-0448 to explain your paranormal experience, or to share your favorite ghost story, or to even give us a topic you would like us to discuss. We understand if you want to keep anonymous, so the choice is yours to share your name with your story. So call 865-264-0448 now and have your experiences heard on the next episode of Paratalk.
listening to Paratalk with East Tennessee Ghost Seekers, a new perspective in paranormal talk radio.